Hello everyone, it is Jasmine here today, and this past weekend I went to C2E2 on Saturday and Sunday. So exciting. I know I have so much to talk about. We have a lot of things to show you and to talk about, and I'm so excited. So we're gonna get right on into it. Now, Saturday I have zero footage. I'm not going to lie to you. I have zero footage. It was a day of standing in lines waiting to meet people because a lot of people were running behind. It was crazy. So I'm just gonna start with that. So the first thing that I did as soon as I got into the convention was I saw, my, acquaintances, at the DeLorean car rental. You can see this footage here. They have such a bigger booth this year than they did at Fan Expo, which I was so happy for them because they have this whole new backdrop that they had made, and they also had Doc Brown talking, and one of my favorite lines was him being like, "Biff is running around C2E2 wreaking havoc," or whatever it was, and I'm like, where? I want to help him. It was just so fun. And I got this, which is a Save the Clock tower. As you know, I always have this behind me. It hasn't fallen off my wall yet. It's back there. But the cool thing, it's got Jennifer's note on the back. But yeah, here they are. There's their name right there. But Jennifer's note on the back, Jennifer's number in her handwriting, that is so cool. Mine doesn't have that because I got that printed, at FedEx. But mine doesn't have that. And I was like, that was... It's just so awesome. Also on Saturday, my sister and I, we were dressed up as Hattie and Olive from Ella Enchanted, her evil stepsisters, which was so much fun. That was our first time, actually properly dressing up. I've dressed up casually in the past. I think the only other time I have dressed up was as Sabrina Spellman in her cheerleader outfit. And no one, recognized me, which was fine. I don't care. But this time we got stopped a lot. A lot. It was crazy. People were like, oh my gosh, you can hear people talking behind you. And I was like, I've never had this happen before where people are talking about me as I walk past them and I can hear them. So I was like, this is so weird, a weird experience, but it was so much fun because Hugh Dancy was there, who played Prince Charmant, which is why we dressed up as Hattie and Olive. We thought it'd be hilarious. And it was a great time. But the first person we met was Darren Criss, who was in Glee. And the thing I know him from was the American True Crime Story. I believe it was the Versace one. I think so, yes. I believe so. I believe. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it was. So anyway, my sister and I, we were going up to, chat with him. And we said something at the same time. And then I was like, oh, can you tell we're related? And he's like, yeah, we're about to find out how related. And I was like, what? It's okay, yeah, true. So then we go up to him and he's like, okay, so how related are you? And I'm like, older sister. And she said, sister. And he's like, okay, for a second I thought you both said older sisters. He's like, I was very confused. And I was like, oh yeah, where's our sibling at? Where's our third one? So he was so much fun, and he loved our costumes. He's like, I've never seen anyone dress up as that. That is so cool and amazing. And I was like, oh my gosh, thank you. He was so nice and just so sweet. And yeah, he was great. He was lovely and just had such a great experience meeting him. He was just so nice. And then after that, we met Chad Michael Murray for me, because a Cinderella Story. He was in that, and he was just obviously, I'm gonna be putting photos here, but he was such a sweet person and so very genuine. And when I was meeting him, his daughter came up because she was there. And she just lost her tooth, and she was so excited and just wanted to tell her dad. And it was so cute because he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And even his wife was coming up, come on kids, let's go. And I was like, no, you're totally fine. It's so cute. And I was like, no, I totally understand. I get it. Trust me. So so he before I left, I was just thank you so much. You don't know how much this means to me meeting you. It's just thank you. And he's like, no, thank you for being so kind, I guess, towards his kids, I'm guessing. And he was like, no, thank you so much. He's like, it was so great to meet you. And he's just so nice. He's so sweet and so nice. And I was just not expecting him. I meet a lot of people, but he was so nice and taking his time with everyone, and such a genuine person. I just felt he really meant what he was saying. And so I was just ah. I've never met anyone on like that level. Like normally, you know, when I meet celebrities, like I'm joking with them and we're just like kind of like, I guess, goofing off like with Darren Criss when we were like, oh, how related are we? Like normally that's what me and my sister do. We just kind of, you know, we make jokes. Like that's what we do. So it's like so nice to do that. And then we met Hugh Dancy, and of course when we go up to him, he's like, you too. When we showed up as Hattie and Olive, he's like, you too. And we're like, yeah, us too. Hi, how's it going? So that was it. His like interaction with him was like shorter, but it was fine. And again, also this just reminded me with Chad Michael Murray when we went up to him, we're like, sorry, we're the wrong stepsisters, which was funny because then, you know, explained to everyone that we were from Ella Enchanted. They're like, oh my gosh, that's so cool, which was nice. Okay, and then the last person we met Saturday was the voice of Jasmine, which I guess I could have been. Why am I not showing? Yeah, it was the voice of Jasmine. Why have I not been showing you? Oh my gosh, I'm a bad YouTuber. I'm a bad YouTuber. Here is my autograph from him. That says something. What does that say? Don't wait for the rain. Is it the rain? Don't wait for the... Oh, it says something. Somebody, if you can figure out what that last one is, let me know. I don't know why I can't figure out what that says right now. It says something. Don't wait for the something. I don't know what that says. That says something. If I decipher it, I'll let you know. But yeah, that's my Chad Michael Murray one. And then I met the voice of Jasmine because obviously I'm named Jasmine after the princess, and her handwriting is beautiful. I just have to say that right now. Like, look at that. It's literally right there. Oh my gosh, like that. I love that. So yeah, look, her handwriting is beautiful. It's so beautiful. I love it. But there's that. So now on to Sunday, which was Maya Hawke Day. Obviously, the first thing that I did in the morning was have her photo op. It was very early. It was the first thing I did. So I walk in there, and she's obviously there taking photos, and I'm like, can we do bunny ears? And she's like, yeah, sure. Let's do it. I have footage of that, so we did that. I'm gonna play my reaction right now to after that. I just met Maya, guys, and I'm freaking out. We did bunny ears, and her outfit is so cute, and I told her that I loved her outfit, and she's like, oh my gosh, thank you. And she's like, you're so cute. Like, asked me to do, like, you know, bunny ears, and she's like, yeah, let's do it. And I'm freaking out. It was so funny. Like, I was like, I don't know what to do. Can we just do that? So we did, and hopefully it turns out amazing. I'll show you guys afterward, of course. I'm freaking out. I can't. Oh my gosh. She's so awesome. I love her. So this is my photo with her, and it looks so cool, and it's she was so amazing and so lovely and just so kind. She's just so kind. She is so kind. And then she had her panel. Okay, in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the Maya Hawke panel portion of this video. I'm going to be telling you what she said. I did not film the panel because C2E2 said no filming at all. So no filming is what I did. And I, listen to C2E2 because eventually, hopefully, they will give me a creator badge at one point. I followed the rules, okay? But they didn't say you couldn't audio record the panel and then transcribe what she said and spit it out for you guys, which is what I'm doing right here. I only have the first half of the panel recorded and transcribed exactly as what she said. The second half, not so much because, need to save storage on my phone and battery life. So they didn't say we couldn't do that. So that is what I did. So the second half of the panel, I'm going to tell you like the notes that I took on my phone of what she said, just roughly. But this first half is exactly what she said, pretty much word for word, just like a few things pulled out to make it, the responses shorter for you guys. And yeah, the only parts I do not have in here is about Asteroid City, which she talked about, the new movie based off O'Flannery's book, trying to remember that correctly, and Do Revenge that she talked about. That stuff I will have linked in the description. I will write it out for you guys just wanted to keep this kind of more so around like Stranger Things, her music, and the new Inside Out. Since that is mainly what my channel is about, I want to keep it around those things. But the rest of that stuff will be down below if you're interested. And yeah, we're going to get right on into it. This is going to be fun for me to do. I have taken notes. There lots of writing. You can't see it, but lots of writing. So many pages full. Okay, so let's get right on into what the panel was. What has your experience been like being a part of Stranger Things? Oh God, I could talk for the whole hour about that, but I guess I would say I was so intimidated when I got cast because I love TV, and on my favorite shows, sometimes when they bring in new characters and they take you away from time with your original characters that you first fell in love with, I can get kind of annoyed. I'll be like, ugh, why am I, having to look at Jackson Avery? I watched the show for Meredith Grey. But then sometimes, particularly in Jackson's case, one falls in love with new characters. So I was, aspiring to want to be a positive addition to the show. Because the show already worked without me, so that was intimidating. And it was also my first time on TV. And on television, you don't get the whole season the way you get a whole script for a movie. You get it episode by episode. So I didn't really know where my character was going to end up. And normally, when I have a part, I'm like, well, if I have to end here, then this moment needs to be like this. Then I'll build a secret in here. And so the end feels really satisfying. But I had no idea what the end was, so it kind of felt like wandering around in the dark. But everyone was so warm and welcoming, and working with Joe Keery is pretty much like the easiest job in the world for an actor. He makes everything you do funnier, he makes you funnier, he makes you better, he's just great scene partner, so that makes it really easy. And then, season 4 was the pandemic, and that was very intense, but in some ways we all had to quarantine with each other, so there was a big bonding energy, and I think that even though I wasn't there in the beginning, everyone having to be bonded by that quarantine period made me feel more like an original, that was really nice. And now season 5, it's like we're seniors, and it's really fun and really sad, and it's awesome to be working on it now. And then she says, I'm really long-winded, everyone, okay? Brace yourself for extremely long-winded, but I will do my best to keep it concise. Which I thought was funny because on to the next page of writing. All pages look like this, by the way. Speaking of bonds, I think one of the most exciting and fun things to watch on Stranger Things was this older brother, younger brother mentorship that happens between Steve and Dustin. And Maya says, oh my God, me too, it's my favorite. Girl, same. So my question is, if Robin were to take on a mentorship and older sister role as she interacts more with the younger characters, who do you think she would gel the most with? And then Maya says, have you read the new scripts? Where's that question coming from? That's very wild. I don't know. I think that she could gel with a lot of characters really well. I am personally really close friends with Sadie Sink, so she might gel very well with Max, but I think there is a variety of characters who she might gel well with, and we will see what happens next season, but you really hit the nail on the head there. And I was like, what? I was so excited, by the way, just letting you know, finding that out live. I was like, ah! Anyway, that was literally my reaction. The next question, is there any particular scene you filmed from Stranger Things that has stood out to you? And this can be in any way, whether it was a scene that you really enjoyed filming, or maybe it was a scene that you found particularly challenging, or maybe it was a scene you couldn't stop giggling at. And Maya says, okay, well, there's a joke amongst actors that your worst nightmare is if you get a script in the mail, and the title of the movie was Night of the Living Swamp Children, because the worst experience shooting is at night, dealing with kids, and kids' hours, and gross stuff outside, and when it's cold. So I'm saying that to give context to what my favorite scene is, because it's indoors, during the day, and just Joe and I. I love all the scenes, but this one was also particularly comfortable. We shot a oneer in the video store at the beginning of season 4, and Joe and I are weaving through the aisles of DVDs. I know she meant VHS tapes here, but just letting you know. And pulling out DVDs and talking to each other. And I love acting in one shot because it allows it to be more like a play. You have control of your whole performance, and so that was extremely fun because we had to be right on target with our dialogue and playing off each other and being funny, and then we end up leaned against this movie poster, And that was my favorite day. I loved shooting in that video store. I loved the scene that happened in there. And I love working with Joe during the daytime. Next question. It's common for actors when they are reading for roles that there is not much information to go off of. And so when you read for Robin, did you have an idea of, because Robin is in scenes with Steve, did you know this character would interact a lot with Steve? Or was it just like, hey, there's this new character? Maya responds, I think the reference that I got was Ali Sheedy from The Breakfast Club, in that she was kind of dour, sarcastic, and a little bit goth. And that's what I did in my audition, and it was with Steve. Then I got to do a chemistry read with Joe, and that was when I was like, oh, I really want to do this, because even in the audition, he was like, help me be better. And when you're chemistry reading with another actor who has the part, it can be really nerve-wracking. But he wasn't intimidating, and he was just wonderful, and so that was awesome. And then the character, I started to notice her changing throughout the season and becoming a little less dour and a little less goth. And I realized that, and I was like, guys, I'm really confused. I remember the character description, and it seems like, I don't know, like you're not writing her that way anymore. And they were like, yeah, well, now we know you. So they really write their characters for their actors, and the more they learn about you as an actor, the more they set you up to succeed. And I think that's a especially wonderful thing when you're working on television, because when you're doing a movie, if you walk with a limp or do an accent or change your posture, that's great, and you can keep it up for a while. But it's nice that since I've been doing this show since I was 19 years old, that I get to play a character that pretty much I get to show up on set like me, and I don't need to affect a huge energy shift in myself, So I'm really glad that they write that way. Which I also think is incredible that they write for their actors to succeed. I think that that's amazing and just so nice to hear that they play to their actors' strengths. I personally love that, and I like that they do that. That is so cool and amazing. Next question. I love to hear that they write for you to play your character. Would you say it's kind of like a good partnership too, in that you feel like you can go and be like, hey, I feel like Robin would do this, or hey, like I maybe want to try this direction? Maya answers, sometimes I go to them and I'm like, hey, I say totally 6 times in this line. Are you sure? And sometimes they say, yes, I'm totally sure. And sometimes they say, how about 3? And I say, sounds good. But for the most part, there's no idea. The brothers, this is their dream and their world, and they have such vision for all those characters. As much as they know it, I think they get inspired by their actors is their speaking patterns. The way that they script words together in sentences, the way their energy feels, and how they already improvise. But I think for the most part, the core structure and the action of the show is like, it's been living in those brothers their whole life, and they know the show better than anybody. And I don't think I have any decent action ideas. I really think Robin should be primarily responsible for defeating all the Demogorgons in Vecna. I have come to them with that idea, but it's just a completely evil, maniacal idea. And the question, but it would be really epic if you could get that scene. And Maya's like, yeah, but that's not really the kind of thing you can ask for. Next question. If it were up to you, how would you like to see Robin's story wrapped up? And Maya says, I hope she survives, and I hope for all the characters that those who survive get to maintain those friendships and get the frick out of that town. The town has bad vibes, and it seems like the rest of the world is okay. So it seems like they should really branch out a little bit, go on a Euro trip maybe. But that's kind of what I hope. But I really just hope that the brothers get to have the resolution and the finale that they always dreamed about, and that we as a cast rise to that. Other than that, that's it. Next question. As the show has gone on for many seasons now, I feel like each season the stakes have gotten much higher, and so much happened in season 4. What was your reaction and experience like seeing all those moments, like reading the scripts, filming them, and finally seeing it all together? Maya answers, it's amazing because, the seasons are extremely long. Like, if you hold the script in your hand, each one is like 100 pages, 110 pages, 98 pages. Most movies are around that. So it's kind of like doing 8 movies in a year. And it's such an ensemble cast that, I probably read the whole show all the way through 2 or 3 times, but then I mostly focus on my scenes as I am memorizing them and tracking out my character's journey. But it's hard to hold all of the different storylines in your head. Maybe some of you feel that way when you're watching, maybe not, but it's hard to hold all the stories in your head, so you kind of lose them and forget them, and then when you go to watch it, the most fun thing is not your own stuff, but seeing your peers and the work that they did and how edible it is, you know? I never went to Lithuania, which is where they shot the Russia stuff with David. Getting to see his work in that prison, I was so amazed by it, and just getting to watch my fellow actors play and excel, and so that's what's really the most fun about it. The general plot I kind of know, so I watch for the performances. Next question. You know, you released 2, soon to be 3 albums as a music artist, and so I would love to hear about what you enjoy most about acting and then also being able to be a musician. Maya answers, I feel like they really feed each other. I don't think I would have 3 albums if it wasn't for Stranger Things, not because the platform, although that helps a lot, but because of the time, and the making of Stranger Things takes about a year to make, and like I said, you are kind of in a third of the scenes because of all the different groups that have to interact with each other. So there is a lot of time on hold in Atlanta waiting for your turn, and it was that time and the time before I got the part on Stranger Things. It was kind of a year in between my first part I ever got, which was Little Women in a BBC miniseries, and Stranger Things. And I am a busybody. I always want to be making things. If I'm not acting in something, I'm writing music. If I'm not writing music, I'm like doing a watercolor or taking a pottery class or trying to learn to knit. I'm like a total maniac in that way, which I can tell a lot of you are by looking at your beautiful handmade costumes and clear creativity that I've seen while I've been here. And so anyway, it was kind of in that time, that waiting time, where I was like, oh wow, the problem with being an actor is that I need permission. Like, I can go to all these auditions, and I do see the audition experience as an opportunity to practice your craft, but it still takes like an hour. You practice, you do the audition, then are like, wow, I guess that's done. What am I going to do the rest of this day? You know? So it's been amazing to have this time where I could write all this music and do this in this platform where I can express myself and put it out. It's something that I never expected to do professionally in my life, and I think it's really important to always have a non-professional creative outlet if you're an artist, because as soon as the industry gets involved with your creativity, things start to change and thoughts start to get into your head that you don't want there, right? Like when you're acting in a school play with your friends, you're not wondering if you're holding your chin just the right way, or like if this is going to be good for your career, or if it's going to look good on your resume, and you're just doing it because you love it. Then you work for a while, and even though that love is so deeply instilled, there are all these other pieces that start to come in. Be pretty, be famous, be good, keep working, you know? And so you need something pure to work on outside of that. So for a while, that was music, but then a lot of people started listening to my songs. Now that's gone too. So now I watercolor a lot, but I also love making music, writing new songs, and especially love the community that it brings around you. And touring and getting to go to shows. This is my first con, but my first experience meeting Stranger Things fans and meeting people was really touring my album. And it was so moving to me to get to meet people who watch the show and listen to the music and care. And it's been such a beautiful aspect of my life. So I'm so excited to put out this new record and hope you guys like it. But it's folk music. You might not. Question. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I read you wrote the chorus for your song Dark a few years ago, actually. Maya answers, true, while we were filming Stranger Things Season 4. Question. So with that being said, I would love to know the process of you creating your music and how it all comes together. And Maya answers, it's always different, you know. There are these moments of rush where you have a feeling or an idea. I heard Miley Cyrus describe it as capturing a firefly, and I've been quoting her about that every day this week. I love it. But sometimes that feeling comes where you see this firefly and you can just write and write, but it's not all good, you know. And then you go back and look at it, you see what part was the purest feeling expressed, and you go, okay, I'm going to save that, and then you wait for another firefly to come, and then try to attach more pieces. And you kind of do this slow, at least I do, this slow collection of things you think are worth saying, you know? I try not to do anything that I don't think is worth saying, at least to me. So it's kind of a slow process of collecting. Like in that song, I collected that chorus during that period of time. I got rid of the verses. I think the verse was originally, I don't want to toughen up, I don't want a heart, I would rather be a slug than a snail. I got rid of that and left the chorus as it was, and then built the rest of the song around it. So thanks for asking. The next question. And then, so you are collecting these pieces and they can come to you yesterday or years from now. Is there any moment where you are in a situation where you're like, I can't write something down now, but I have this thought and I want to remember it later? My answer is every night before I go to bed. You're like about to fall asleep and you're like, oh, I've got a great idea. I'll remember it in the morning. Nope. But I'm always writing like on the back of my sides, these lines for the day at work, where it's like what you're going to say that day. Hopefully you already know them before you come in, but some people memorize off their sides in the trailer. I've done it before, shamefully. But on the back of them, because usually I am off book, I like to write on them. So I always have a pen with me. Rarely am I in a situation where it's impossible to write down an idea, especially with our stupid phones we carry around. Usually you have them somewhere. Question. Is there any song that you like performing the most? The song you feel is the most personal for you? My answers. Yeah, there are different answers because something really cool happened that I never thought would happen in my life. If people really take to one of your songs, it becomes not yours anymore. It becomes your community's, and it becomes the most fun to perform by far because your audience is having the most fun. And in terms of performing, for me at least, I am having fun if you're having fun, and I am not if you are not. And I have this song out called Terrace, and that song is my most popular song, and people have written me letters about it, and I think it struck a chord in some people. And when I get to be in a room with those people and sing that song, that's my favorite. Question. Connecting music and Stranger Things, actually, many of your Stranger Things co-stars are also musicians. My answers, it's crazy. It's the time thing. I'm telling you, it's the 3 storylines and everyone has the extra time. I swear to God, that's it. Maybe they won't tell you the truth, but I will. Question. Have you ever talked about potentially collaborating with some of them in the future? My answers. Yeah, I would love to. I think there's a thing that happens when you're on something as big as Stranger Things. Any collaboration we do could be overshadowed by that or make it all about that. And I think that everyone is kind of doing their music project as a way to carve out a little of their individuality or something and be like, hey, I know I'm Robin, but I'm also Maya, and this is what Maya thinks. And so I think that the fact that we're not all a band already, that's maybe why, because everyone is trying to carve out their own little individuality. But I would love to work with Finn and Joe, and we talk about making music all the time and play together sometimes, and we listen to each other's stuff, and it's really fun. Question. Are there any upcoming projects that you're working on that you would like to share? And Maya answers, oh my gosh, well, Inside Out, that is coming out this summer, and I'm so excited for you guys to see it. The first Inside Out movie changed my life. I feel like it facilitated these conversations and knowing how to talk to people differently and even seeing your own emotions differently and being like, hey, actually, anger's kind of got the wheel right now. Maybe keep me 5 feet space or whatever, or like this way of seeing your feelings, not as you, but these feelings that are maneuvering around your mind that you can kind of attempt to control sometimes and be like, okay, wow, I am not angry. Anger's got the wheel. Let me take some deep breaths and see if I can bring joy back. And that's so cool. And I don't know how I've gotten so lucky to get to join things later that I love so much, like Stranger Things and Inside Out. It's so cool to be that lucky, but I'm so excited for the second one. I'm so excited for you guys to meet Anxiety. She rules, as do all of the characters, and I think you're really gonna like it. I got to see the first 40 minutes. I haven't seen the whole movie either. I can promise you the first 40 minutes, excellent. Just excellent. I hope you like it, and I can't wait for you to see that. I think it's going to be awesome. Time for the notes section. So, her favorite behind-the-scenes thing is playing board games, and they are playing Bananagrams. They play Bananagrams, and she says it's fun, and it helps them, like, touch back into, like, their gratitude and joy after inhaling air sparkles at 3 a.m., and they just love being silly. And she says that she gets competitive, and so does Noah and Gaten. And Noah and Maya, they get like super frustrated when they think people are cheating. Like they get really frustrated, which I think is funny. I love that. And she says she wants to be in a rom-com, and she's like, we need to be going to the movie theaters. We need them to turn up the volume in the movie theaters, because she's like, I hate walking out there and having to go to the concession stand and being like, hey, can you turn up the volume in this theater? Same, okay? Theater volumes have gotten lower. I am glad she's bringing that up. I thought that was just a me problem. I'm glad she brought that up, because same. It is so difficult. Can't hear anything anymore. And it's like, do I be that person and go up to the people to be like, hey, the volume is really low? So I'm glad she brought that up, because I didn't realize this was like a universal problem. Glad to know. She said, obviously, the favorite thing she'd been listening to at the moment is Tortured Poets Department. And girl, same. Love that. Love that. She also said her favorite costume she ever wore in Stranger Things was her Scoops Ahoy outfit. Oh, and she talked about her favorite things to do. She loves going for walks, going to the movies, watching TV, and she likes currently cooking, and this sweet potato red lentil curry recipe that was in the New York Times. I'll link it down below. And she loves watercoloring as well. She's talking about Stranger Things and about how a lot of Gaten and Joe's improvised stuff makes it in. And she's tried sneaking in weird things into Stranger Things, like a weird voice or a weird phrase. And she said that she does it to keep herself awake. So she tries to sneak stuff in, do weird things. She has to keep herself awake somehow, guys. You know, long days. And she did say that Landslide would be the song from Vecna that would save her. She said she hasn't heard it in a while, but it is her mom's favorite song. And so that would be the song to save her from Vecna. And she said when season 5 wraps, she is going to be going on a shopping spree for her Ahoy hat in a figure that was made specifically for season 5 that she can't talk about yet. But she said those are her two, like, go-to items that she wants as soon as it wraps. She's like, those are mine. I am taking them. No one else can have them. She wants them. And you know what? We need to let her have that. Everyone move out of Maya's way. Let her get her things that she wants, okay? Let her have dibs. And then there was this beautiful thing that I wish I had, like, a direct quote from when she was talking about how Robin inspires her every day and the character becomes a part of you when you film for so long. And that Robin has been her friend through all of it, through the growing up on set when you're still trying to figure out who you are. And the way she said that was just like so beautiful. How she's like, Robin is like my friend. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love that. Like, I love that she's like, you know, trying to figure out herself and like Robin's like her friend. And she said that there were times where she like fully embraced Robin and let her, you know, in to her. And there are other times where she kind of like, you know, distances herself a little bit. And I just think that's so beautiful, especially when playing a character for so long. And, you know, during your developmental period in your life, you know, having that, I don't know, I love the way she said that. So anyway, that was the Maya Hawke panel. It was so much fun. I love hearing her talk and just love the passion she has for everything. I just love that. And I love that she watercolors and mentioned that thing about being a creative and wanting to do so many things. Like me, even if you've just been on this channel for a little bit, you see that I like making costumes. I have an embroidery machine. I like to paint. I like to draw. I have like all of this stuff that I like to do as well. And so it's nice to see that being like validated, being like, I want to learn how to knit. Me personally, I think that it would be fun to learn also how to knit. I've expressed that a lot of times. I also want to learn, you know, about wanting to learn how to make even model rooms. Just, I love that she gets that and was able to like speak on that, because I'm like, yes, that is me. That is me. But yeah, we're going to get right back into the rest of the video now. So after her panel, we went to go get her autograph, which was a very long line. Not gonna lie to you, the line was very long. It like snaked around into other people's lines. So it was a very, very, very long line, and I got to have her sign the poster, which you guys all know, the poster, the very infamous poster. And it's right here. And there she signed right down there. She was like, where should I sign? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, just find a spot somewhere. And she was like, oh, okay. I was like, yeah, you know, Noah could have signed on his face. He didn't want to. I was like, Caleb did. Millie did. Noah said, nah. And she's like, yeah, he is quite the contrarian, isn't he? And I was like, yeah, he is. That is the correct word for him. Yeah. So she signed there, and she did mess it up a little bit, so she had to re-go over the bottom of the M because she smudged it with her finger. She's like, oops, sorry, I smudged it. She's like, hang on, let me fix it. So she fixed it, and she's like, I'm so sorry. And I was like, it's all good. That's a fun story to tell that she smudged it. And she remembered me from the bunny ears. Because honestly, who else is doing that if not me? I mean, let's be real. I always try to do something unique and different in the photos I take with people. And I couldn't think of anything in line except for bunny ears. That was the first thought that popped in my head. And I'm like, why? Why that? So my hand's a little weird because she had her hair up in a clip. So my hand's a little weird. But it was fun. I had a good time. So now on to the fun part about the con, the footage that I have, which isn't a lot, but it's something. Here we have 11. This looks like the Hot Topic exclusive 11. They have their prototype here, which is really cool. And they also have all these other prototypes as well. Not gonna lie to you, don't really know them. So the things that I bought at the con was literally not much of anything. Not gonna lie to you. A lot of autographs and photo ops this year, so that's mainly what my money went towards. So we're going to show the cool fun stuff that I did get. Now this one is from a nice artist. Their name is Jasmine. I will have them down below. But this is the Iris Clown, which I love their art so much. They have this piece titled Laundry Day, which is just so cool. And I really wish I could buy it, but I didn't have enough money left over to buy it. So, you know, one way to show support is to always buy a little sticker. So that's why I got this one. And it's so cute and so adorable. Oh, there was also other clowns that they had, but, you know, I like this one. It's purple. So the next things that I got was Stranger Things related, and this surprises no one. No one, just no one at all. We finally got Steve, okay? Finally Steve, just for them to have season 3 keychains with Ahoy Steve. Great. I already have Ahoy Robin. Don't think I've shown her off yet, but I already have Ahoy Robin for that. Box Lunch has them, by the way, if you're looking for them for season 3. But here is Steve, who we got. We also got Mike, which is nice. Don't have Mike yet. And then we have Max, who I already have Max. I didn't think I did, but I did check. I do have Max. And then this one, which my mom actually pointed out to me. This one, I was like, why is the Demogorgon like this? And she's like, isn't that the Demodog? And I was like, it is, because the color does not match. Let's be real. The Demodogs are a darker color, but look how weird this looks. It looks so weird. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're right. It is the Demodog. It's like, oh, that's just, it looks weird. Like, look at that. It just, why does it look like that? Like, come on, guys. Why does it look like that? Who designed this? Let's come forward. Okay, look at just the side. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's just, no, it's icky. So that was my time at C2E2. I had so much fun. I'm going to make this short because I'm running out of space on my computer. So if you like this video, leave a like down below. If you want to see past C2E2 vlogs, they will be right there. And I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye! Ooh, I did that so quickly. Whew.